Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Aubrey. I am an advanced sommelier and a wine buyer and creative director at Palate Club. And today I'm going to do a blind tasting for you. I'm comparing two bubblies for the holidays. I have a Prosecco and a Champagne. So these two flutes were poured while I wasn't in the room. I don't know which is which, but a lot of people do wonder if the cost of Champagne is really worth it. I'm sure most of you know that Champagne is a place in France. It comes from Champagne, but when it comes to the glass, that's what really matters, right? So we're gonna taste and I'm gonna let you know if I can tell the difference. All right, so the first wine on my right is I would say a little bit darker. It has a golden color. It has a green apple and lemon, brioche, vanilla, and marzipan on the nose. And sparkling wines typically are very high acid. They usually come from cold climates like Champagne. So that's normal. One thing I do like to observe that's a little bit different with sparkling wine compared to other wines is you're really looking so carefully at the texture. So this wine has a very consistent bubble. So that means that I feel that little party in my mouth from the front all the way until the finish. The green apple and lemon is consistent on the finish. I'm still getting those brioche, marzipan sort of aromas on the taste, and it is very lengthy. It's enjoyable. In terms of sweetness, both of these wines are brut, but that range is pretty wide. It's somewhere between, typically, depending on where the sparkling wine is from, between 0 and 12 grams of sugar per liter. I would say that this is reaching up on that sweetness range. Okay, interesting. Let's move on. The second wine is a little bit lighter in color. It has sort of a more transparent look to it. Way more floral, lots of white flower and lily. Also, still a little bit of that green apple, more melon, more grapefruit, not getting those brioche vanilla aromas I was on the first wine. Okay, high acid. This one's actually a little bit drier. Also, getting back to the texture, so I see in the glass that it kind of looks like it has a consistent bubble, but on the palate, it felt like a very foamy mousse up front and then sort of watered out at the finish. The taste, at first, I still get those floral and melony flavors, but the palate falls off. Those flavors fall out of my mouth a lot faster. So for your knowledge, both of these wines, to level the playing field, I tried to get them as close as possible. So I bought a more entry-level Champagne, which was around 22 euro, and a more high-end Prosecco, around 750 euro. That was a DOCG, which is the highest level of Italian wine classification, because as you know, Prosecco's from Italy. So you can expect a little bit more quality from that. Okay, well, I do have to say that I think the first wine that I tasted was the Champagne. I had that more consistent mousse and finer bubble, as well as more flavor and that beautiful texture. Okay, we're gonna see if I was right. Could you bring me wine number one, please? Champagne, I win! My prize is to drink this all by myself. And what was wine number two? You guessed it, Prosecco. Okay, so really this comes down to your preference. Both of these are great wines. I'm really gonna enjoy these this afternoon. And they have different purposes. I find Prosecco's great for an aperitif. It's great with panettone, which is a sort of cake-like thing that's enjoyed a lot over the holidays. Champagne is a little bit better for food, I find. But it's at your preference, and you'll notice that the Champagne, in my opinion, was sweeter. So Prosecco's not necessarily sweeter, but you can expect a finer bubble, more consistency, and more depth of aroma on the champagne from that bottle fermentation. Okay, well, tune into our blog if you want to learn more about Prosecco and champagne. And if you enjoy this, please do subscribe, follow our channel, so that way other people know where to find this content. And cheers.